This episode of BTP Daily is brought to you by K Rico Coffee, man. One of the best coffee places you can go to, and they're also selling coffee for everyone all over the place. But it's nice to have some coffee at home. It's also nice to have some coffee somewhere else, but it's also tremendous to go have some over at K Rico Coffee. For those of you that live down in South Florida, definitely a place you want to go to. It's over at 2728 Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood. And you will enjoy it. JR and the gang have some tremendous coffee, have some tremendous types of coffee recipes and all this other good stuff that you will definitely enjoy. But more what you will enjoy, other than the coffee, let me be completely honest with you on this one, is the people. You go in there, you chat, they talk. What a concept, right? People talking nowadays face to face and, actually caring about what you say. And no need to really look at your cell phone in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, K Rico Coffee gives you that more human experience, that human touch, because they care so much about their craft, but they also care so much about making you, the consumer, happy with your cup of coffee. Whatever type of coffee you might like, everybody has different tastes, everybody has different likes. K Rico Coffee has it for you. K Rico Coffee. It's the people that make coffee good.
Cardiff City just said, you know what, whatever our coach thinks, really, we don't think that, with obvious reasons. Of course, you're not saying, I'm not saying, many in a situation very similar to Neil Warnock's would not be blurting out, hey, you know what, to hell with the rest of the world, when it comes to giving his political views in the pulpit of football. Especially with such an explosive topic such as Brexit. Should any coach dare to opine in such a matter where not only are they excluding a great portion of their population, but there's also a great deal of the world that they're kind of shutting. That same rest of the world that has been able to continuously give him a reason to keep working in the world of football, or at least in the little world of football within the bubble that England is. Remember, football, how can I say, is one big bubble, but at times you start to see the individual pockets emerge within that one huge bubble. England's one of them. Neil Warnock ends up being in a group of individuals that happens to be there. Of course, we've also heard Jurgen Klopp talk about the other extreme of the argument, and it's much more of a unifying speech. And of course, for obvious reasons, he's not English, and he understands the other viewpoint, and he's appreciative of the position in which he's in right now. Something that if all the things that have been voted on, and again, I don't want to get into the political end of it all, which you end up having to, one way or another end up going into that rabbit hole. You see Jurgen Klopp trying to give a more peaceful, diplomatic type of argument in terms of why this decision that was made by the people of the United Kingdom, some agreeing, some not so much. Some regions totally wanting out, some others saying, why the hell are we leaving? Just ask many people in Scotland, and of course other parts of the UK. What Neil Warnock is not understanding is that part of his team is filled with foreign players. The majority of, or not the majority, I should say a good portion of the Premier League and the Championship has been made greater. The Premier League, you can argue that it's the best league in the world. I would say it's one of the best leagues in the world, without a doubt. As far as the best league in the world, that's a very subjective conversation to get into. But overall, you start to analyze what Neil Warnock has said. It's a lot of the undertones of it that really tend to irritate individuals. Now, if you add that and the whole situation with Frank Lampard and what occurred over at Stamford Bridge a few weeks ago, and what you hear constantly in certain situations when Spurs fan or when Spurs play, you hear, and I'm not going to mention the hissing that comes from the stands. Many other cases, many other cases, not just in football, but in other, you hear those same undertones. To hell with the world. To hell with everybody else. Now, how would the Premier League look if one of your best coaches happened to be Neil Warnock? Or Sam Allardyce? Harry Redknapp? No more is Mauricio Pochettino going to be able to be the coach at Spurs, or Pep Guardiola the coach at City. Hell, for that matter, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, no longer the coach at Manchester United. How about them apples? How would you like that? How would fans like that? The best players in the Premier League. Should we say to hell? And that's why Cardiff City said, you know what? No, that's a personal opinion. And personal opinions need to be left in other places. Now, I'm not saying it because I don't agree with Mr. Warnock, and I completely agree with Jurgen Klopp. No, I mean, Jurgen Klopp can also leave his personal opinions elsewhere as well. And he is an individual with opinions, and fine, he gave his opinion. Maybe I don't agree with it. Maybe it shouldn't be exposed there, but it was. So what can you do? Well, discuss. And the undertones are there. That's the most unfortunate part of it all. Now, and this is just me, if I were a player over at Cardiff City, not English, and I hear my coach saying that, how can I go into battle for him or with him the same way anymore? Knowing that in the back of your mind, and in the back of his mind, he wishes you weren't there. Now, how true that is, I don't know. But for many, one of the main arguments as far as communication is concerned is that perception is reality. It might not be the truth, but perception is reality. Because the way I see it, the way I view it, is my truth, or my opinion, however you want to word that. But if I have a sentiment, if I have a feeling, if I have a perception deep down inside that my coach does not want me there because I am from X nationality, I'm from X country, I'm not from this or that or the other place. That's a sentiment that is going to be very hard for Neil Warnock to be able to turn around. It was bad judgment. It could affect his team. It could. Will it? I don't know, because I don't know what he's done to be able to repair the damage that his words have potentially generated. Forget within the press or the media. That's superficial in terms of what his work is supposed to do. Yeah, he'll get pressure from the outside. He'll have fans jeering him and criticizing him and stuff. But the ones that he cannot afford to have not on his side are the players. Maybe the coaching staff even. I don't know how the rest of his coaching staff feels about that. Maybe they're all on board with him. Maybe they aren't. That's where you start to see that. He can ill afford those individuals being against him. He can ill afford the board being against him because of what he said, because of his political leanings. I don't know what's going to happen with him. He might not get sacked because of his comments. That's, you should not be sacked because of your personal, or not personal beliefs, but your political backing or your political ideologies. Unless he's saying, you know what, all foreigners should die, or all, something really extreme, really crazy, then then that's a different story. But if he's not of the type that believes that in immigration or in that foreign players should have a chance, or that things along those lines, and it's an argument that can go on for days and hours and months and years. If he doesn't believe that, that's well within his right. As much as one doesn't like it, as much as one might not agree with it, it's well within his right. But it's also well within everyone else's right to criticize him. It's well within the player's right to not want to follow him anymore, or believe in him, or think that they're secure at all. So there are consequences to what Neil Warnock said. But then again, that's been part of what's gone on in several instances when individuals like him have voiced their concerns or opinions or beliefs in such a bombastic manner. It's unfortunate, but it's a reality. But the big test is going to be how he overcomes it, what he's able to do to overcome it, and more importantly, what this part of the world is going to do to not let something like this tear an already divided nation up, or a divided region up, even more than it is now.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in time and time again here to BTP Daily. And look, I wanted to ask a quick favor. I really want you to do this for me, and I'll be eternally grateful for you. Please leave a review. Please, 5 stars is great. 1 star is fine too. We get it. But please leave a message, leave a review, give us your thoughts about how you like this podcast, as far as what we're offering content-wise, what you would like to hear, and of course, being on Anchor, you have a lot of different ways to do so. You can leave a message, you can leave all types of content and types of direct messages in my direction, so we can find ways here to really amplify it and give you all types of content and more frequent content as we look to grow with each and every episode that we do. Make sure you do it on iTunes. Make sure you do it pretty much on every or any of the platforms that we're on. We're pretty much on everything. And I said iTunes, Stitcher, Audio Boom, SoundCloud, whatever you want, we're on it. But make sure that you go and check it out. Give us a rating, leave us a review, because we would be extremely grateful to know which direction we're heading, how we're impacting you, and all those other things that really make this podcast such a great and fun experience for me, and of course everyone else that's involved. Also, make sure you check out Beyond the Pitch, as we have some great content going out there as 2019 starts to creep up. It's a scary thought, but we have a lot more coming in the next few months, in the next year, as we have lots of events in the football world that we'll be focusing our attention on. So make sure you leave that rating. We'll be extremely grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of the BTP family. Talk to you later. Peace.